Hey, it's Dane at ZIMM'S Guitars, and the latest guitar news is that Fernandez Guitars has officially gone out of business there. They filed for bankruptcy. If you go on the Fernandez website, it says that the USA website has shut down. So some of the guitars that Fernandez made, they had the Fernandez up here on the headstock logo, but they also made those Bernie guitars, which were those copies of the Gibson guitars, and those things are real popular. I've had a couple of those here in the store. Fernandez started in 1972, and they made those flamingo guitars, the Spanish style stuff, and then they later started making guitars, bass guitars, and amplifiers. And even Kurt Cobain, on one of his guitars, he was a lefty, but he had a Fernandez neck on one of his guitars. And the Fernandez guitars were really popular up in the Seattle area because that was the closest port from Japan, is pretty much Seattle. So there was a lot of those guys, and during the grunge era and stuff, had their hands on these more inexpensive used Fernandez guitars. They were everywhere. I've got 6 or 8 of them here in my store, so I'm going to put them on my bench one at a time. Let's go through them, and let's check out what Fernandez guitars I have used for sale right here at my store. Okay, so this first one that I have here is a Tej-75, and you can see the strings. I haven't restrung it yet. It is a used guitar. Fernandez limited edition electric sound research group. So it's a telly shape, made in Japan, approximately 1988, gloss black, cream binding, an alder body, 25.5-inch scale length, 15-inch radius. So we've got a single coil here, and we've got a humbucker here. And again, it's just basically, I'm going to say it's Fernandez. It's their version of a Telecaster. And this one really needs cleaned up. One of these days I'll clean this up. I might even do a restring video about it. Looks like we've got Goto tuners on it. Goto stuff was used a lot. And like you can see a little bit of rust in here and stuff. Japanese guitars, if they lived over in Japan for a long time, they got rusty. There's so much humidity in the air where all the little screws and everything rust on these things. But there's my first one. It is a Fernandez Telecaster. Okay, so this second one that I have here, this is a Fernandez FR55 Revolver series, and this is somewhere around the year 1986, 1987. Lake Placid blue. Made in Japan. Some of them came with a Floyd Rose. This one has a different bridge in there, but it's very similar to a Floyd. I see a maple neck. Fernandez, made in Japan. This one's in relatively good condition as far as the body not having any little dents and dings. And as far as the frets, they look pretty clean, not too bad. This one is for sale, and all these guitars that I have are all for sale. But yeah, here it is, a Fernandez FR55 Revolver series. Okay, this next one that I have here, this is a Fernandez LA80KK. This is the Kit Chimera signature model in pearl white. This guitar has a really cool inlay at the 12th fret. It looks like a little Greco. It's got the inverted headstock, which is really cool. Japanese made Fernandez, super hard to find. And rosewood fingerboard. It's got the Floyd Rose trem on there. It says Fernandez right here. It's got a super shreddy little, well, the knob is a little wacky right there. 5-way switch with 3 pickups, and it has a switch here that most likely turns this into a single coil. but I don't know off the top of my head what's going on with this guitar. But this is a beautiful condition guitar, 24 frets, and bolt-on neck. This artist, Ken Kimura, I believe is how you pronounce his name. He's in a great Japanese band. There, the arm came out. But he's in a great band, and just looking at the back of the guitar, you see that it's in nice condition. It could be polished and cleaned up a little bit. Maple neck here, Goto tuners. This is an old guitar from the 1980s. Fernandez made a lot of cool guitars. I'll just say that right off. And this is one of those. So the LA80 KK. This next one is a Fernandez FR65 Floyd Rose transparent super Strat. So you can kind of see the wood grain underneath the paint, right? You can see that transparent finish. This guitar is mid-90s when this one was made. So these guitars were made, they were only made in Japan for the Japanese market. So for it to end up over here in Phoenix, Arizona, it has traveled a long way to be here. Guys would have to buy them. A lot of guys that were in the service would buy guitars in Japan and they would bring them back home. And then there are some companies nowadays that are sending used guitars over here to the States to help sell them. The Japanese guitar market, it really is insane with the amount of guitars that they manufacture over there. They make their way over here from Japan. If you can get your hands on one, it's kind of a very unique thing because you don't see them every day. But again, I've got sort of a lot of Fernandez guitars down here. Again, this one is the Fernandez FR65 in transparent black with a Floyd Rose, mid-90s. Really nice. So here I have a Fernandez, and this is a FR50 made in Japan in metallic blue. So a lot of these, yeah, they made a lot of great guitars. This one does not have the Floyd. This has a Fernandez sort of a Fender style trem on here, but you can see it is a 2-point trem, so it's got a little bit of movement in it there. And this one again was made in the mid-90s, and it's in really good condition as far as there's no chips or dents or dings that I see right off. Looks pretty nice. Does not have the Floyd. If you want something without the Floyd Rose, it is missing the whammy bar though, but we've got single hum, and like they did in the 80s and the 90s, they have the plastic cover over the pickups, which was kind of a unique thing, and they're all stamped Fernandez. It says Fernandez on the trim, it says Fernandez on the pickups. Got Fernandez up here on the headstock, and Goto tuners I see back here, maple neck, and it says Fernandez on the back plate. So again, it's the FR50 made by Fernandez. Let's see what else I have. Okay, this next one is very unique. This is a Fernandez Z03. And if you look these things up on YouTube, our YouTube video, we did a video on this and it comes right up. But these things are super popular. I know it looks like a funny little guitar, but the Japanese people love these things. And so we did a YouTube video and a restring on this one. So what's really fun about this guitar is when you flip this switch, you see the light goes on and the speaker comes on. really cool guitar. And another thing, it does have the electronics. So you can plug this into a regular amplifier. And it sounds really good through a regular amplifier. It's got the humbucker in here, so you can just really jam on this thing. And if you feel like you want that little extra boost, if your drummer is kind of really loud or something, you can turn this speaker on and have it through your amp at the same time, and it gives you just that little bit more sound where you can really hear it really good. There's a lot of Japanese artists that have these in their rock videos, and these things are really fun. So again, the Fernandez Z03. Okay, we have another one. This is a Fernandez FR50, just like that blue one that we have, although I do have the arm for this one. So again, mid-90s, black guitar. Unfortunately, we got a couple little dents here and there in this one. But overall, it is in really good condition. We got nice looking frets right here. You don't see a lot of wear in the frets. And again, a maple neck. This is a very clean example of a almost 30-year-old guitar. Fernandez FR50 in black. Okay, so after a while, Fernandez started to make some of their guitars in Indonesia and even China. This one is a made in China one, FX02. You could guess that it is from 2002, but this is a Fernandez, and it's sort of a Strat copy where you have the single, and I can see that somebody has modified this guitar and they put a DiMarzio pickup in it, and it has a switch, 5-way switch here for your pickup, single, right? But just like a Fender Strat, you can modify them. But they did start making guitars in China and Indonesia after a while, because they really honestly, Fernandez built like millions of guitars. Cortex started building them for them, and they were selling like hotcakes all over the world. But this one is a Chinese Strat style guitar, and it's, you know, it's like it's a beginner's model from Fernandez. They did a lot of beginner model stuff. The affordable guitar, and this one, the headstock logo looks a little bit different where it says Fernandez guitars on there. But yeah, it's just your basic Strat style copy guitar made in China. Okay, so this last one is a bass guitar, and it is in black, and I believe this is a made in Japan version because of what the headstock says right here. Fernandez limited edition electric sound research group, and you can see it's just your sort of precision bass copy. It says Fernandez down here on the bridge. Some unique saddles going on right there. And I think these are a active pickup, because you can see on the back here it does have a battery box, and you can see the condition is pretty rough on some of this stuff. But right here, you know, I think what happened here is the plastic was left on these two back plates for so many years that when somebody decided to peel that plastic off, it didn't come off clean. So an old Fernandez, I'm gonna guess the late 80s. Goto tuners on there, made in Japan. So it's an older, late 80s Fernandez bass with active pickups in it. This thing's probably rocks really good. Let's do this. Let's test on it real quick. Plug it in. Let's see if she makes noise. Yeah, it makes noise. Okay, there it is, guys. that is my Fernandez collection. Thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed this video, consider hitting the like and subscribe button. And again, all you guys have a great day. Go out and buy a guitar.